Soldiers List was founded in 2003, and it was a result of my 8th grade students wanting to make a difference with the wars and after September 11th. And so we started sending care packages, and it was an extremely popular project to the point where we couldn't afford to keep it going unless we came up with a different way to handle the situation. So we started to ask civic organizations and churches and anybody in the community who would like to join us to send care packages to soldiers who were being referred to us. So over time, it just got bigger and bigger, and in 2005, I gave birth to my daughter and my son. My son passed away, and my daughter was born missing half of her heart. And so she needed to have immediate heart surgery, and that experience changed our entire family. We got home from her second hospitalization, and Hurricane Katrina hit, and so I was sitting there with my daughter, and we watched TV, and there was this woman standing there with her 2-year-old son who had just had a transplant, and all of their meds had washed away. And I was sitting there thinking, I can't just let this boy die. So I got in touch with as many people as I could, and within 48 hours we had moved 23 of the children from the Gulf Coast region up north in order to get medical care. And after that happened, naturally the National Guard was aware of what was going on because they were down there, and then they were being sent overseas to Iraq and Afghanistan and alerting me about children who needed care, who seemed to have some kind of a congenital or at-birth issue. And so I started working with them to be able to get those kids the health care that they needed, and that spread because then word got out about that, and military families started coming asking me about Tricare and how to navigate the medical system, and how my daughter's having surgery, how can I get my husband home, and taking real issues that were extremely urgent and trying to advocate for them. And that turned into an international effort as well, because then I started getting World Aid advocacies getting in touch with me about children who were sick and trying to find families for them. So now I heavily advocate and try to match families that are appropriate with acute special needs children, especially in the military community, because most military don't realize they can adopt. In fact, they have tried to make it so that we have an easier time adopting. So I was such an advocate that we ended up adopting one of the kids that the file was sent to me, and so I love what I do. We've sent probably at this point right around 16,000 care packages to soldiers who are deployed all over the world. That does not exclusively mean Iraq, Afghanistan. It also includes Korea and Kosovo and anywhere else that soldiers need our assistance. And we are also heavily involved in the community with the medical information, and we've served about 21,160 families with acute medical issues up to this point. So I love what I do. The first time I knew we were making a difference was when one of our soldiers came back from Afghanistan, and he wanted to talk to the children, because he wanted to educate the children and have them understand how much it meant to him to have them send care packages over to him while he was gone. And he came in and he talked to those kids, and he showed pictures of camels, and he showed pictures of mountains and of heat and of snow and of everything that we don't know about the Middle East. And he made it real, and he made it come alive for the children just as much as the children made life come alive for him. And that's when I knew that this was going to be good. The first time with one of our patients that I was working with was a family that was a military family, and they just found out that their child had a very life-threatening heart disorder. I was in the hospital with my daughter, and she was having some issues, but I went over to them and I asked them if they were okay. We were on stage 2, we were on our second open heart, so we were old hats at this point. And so I just wanted to bring them comfort, and they knew nothing about what their rights were. They didn't know how they were going to navigate the system. And the wife was actually the active duty service member, and she was worried about going back to work. And I sat down with her and went through everything and explained it to her and clarified what she could and couldn't do, and that we were going to help her. And she just collapsed into tears, and her husband did too, right over the baby's bassinet, which is just kind of like a tray, because they just leave them out. And I knew that Lorelei's fight was going to be worth something.